What's up, everybody? Walter here. Sorry that I haven't been able to get to these Star Wars Rebels vlogs recently. Just so much going on with Top 5 and the other content I got going on the channel. But I did want to talk about the mid-season finale and the previous two episodes, which were Kindred and Crawler Commanders. So let's just dive right in here. Kindred, there's a new villain, assassin, hunter, who looks really cool. I like his design, and he feels like a serious threat. He was introduced in this episode. There's a speeder chase in this episode that I really like in Kindred. There's another Kanan and Hera kissing tease where we've seen a couple times before. I really like that they've become the heartbeat of the show, and it's really cool to see them, their relationship develop. Later in this episode, they finally kiss, but the whole team sees it, but I think they already kind of knew something was going on. And then she says, "May the Force be with you," and like goes off. And that's kind of like Han and Leia, "I love you, I know" line. That was great. Hera is awesome. The Loth Wolves come up again, and we find out that they lead everyone through this portal that leads to the other side of the planet, which is very useful to these guys because they have to be as low profile as possible because they're just a very small group at this point in the story. So Caleb Dume, I think, is Kanan's real name, and he has a connection with the Loth Wolves. We thought that it was Ezra who was really talking to them, and it was at first, but we see that Kanan is really the person that the Loth Wolves want to talk to, and that plays into the story later. Hera gets the TIE Defender info to Mon Mothma at the base, and that was kind of what the last couple episodes were about, getting the info for that out from underneath the nose of the Empire, and they did that, and that was the end of Kindred. This was a back-to-back episode, so we saw these episodes one right after the other. Went right into Crawler Commanders. Senator Organa has a cameo on the hologram, so whenever we see him, it's just kind of cool to see a Jimmy Smits design as an animated character on there. This is more of a lighthearted episode because the Rebels have to take over like this. I don't even know what this was. This was like a food mining ship or something. And there's a really funny like lizard captain of this ship. And when Ezra tries to talk as him, he's like offended by that Ezra's talking like this because that's how he talks. He goes, "Huh? Is that what I sound like?" That was pretty funny. But yeah, that was a good lighthearted moment in the episode. Zeb fights the lizard Foreman, which was fun to see. That was a nice action scene. And then Hera convinces the Rebels to actually help on Lothal. So they're actually coming in reinforcements to help this very small group who are active right now on the planet. So that was the end of Crawler Commanders. And then we went into Rebel Assault, which is the mid-season finale, which just aired this past week. The opening X-Wing battle I thought was really cool. The battle felt very Star Wars. Some of the good guys died in this. We saw them, and there was a little bit of weight to that. We didn't really know who those characters were, but that we saw that the good guys are taking some hits in this and made it more serious. So I really like this X-Wing battle at the beginning of the episode. You know, as I went through this, I kind of realized that Star Wars Rebels, I think, is best suited for like binge watching because the episodes don't cover too much of a span of time. There's only, especially recently, it seems like they just cover like a very short amount of time and we don't even get a conclusion until the next episode. Maybe that's why they bunched them up 2 by 2 so far in this season. But the more I think about it, it's more like I think I would enjoy Star Wars Rebels way more if I just watched it all the way through on a binge watch or something. It's still a good show, obviously, and I'm enjoying it the way it is, but I think it could be improved from an audience perspective by seeing it that way. So Hera is on the run after X-Wing crashes. She's with another Rebel, and they're running from that tracker guy who was in the last episode, that hunter, and he was a serious threat, and I like that he's a serious threat, so it's cool that he's in there. Kanan breaks from the group, which is very un-Kanan-like. He's really playing off his emotions here, which is kind of throwing him off a little bit. So he goes back to try and save Hera as the rest of the Rebels are trying to get away. They agreed that they're going to split up, but Kanan wasn't having any of it, and he goes back to try and save Hera. So Kanan is stopped by the Loth Wolves again, and he's kind of convinced by them somehow to not go after Hera this way. They're going to come up with another plan, I guess, because eventually he helps out the other Rebel pilot who is with Hera, but Hera is actually captured. at the end of this episode. So that's the mid-season finale. As Hera is captured by the Empire, I think Kanan and the other rebels are just going to have to go in and get her back, and that's going to be the main emphasis of this. I like that Hera and Kanan's relationship has developed so far this season. I like the direction they're going with that. I think that Kanan is a really interesting character and is getting more interesting every episode. And, you know, Ezra seems to be almost the more even-keeled one right now, where since Kanan is basically in love with Hera, his emotions are all over the place. And I love seeing his conflict with his, you know, Zen Jedi ways, you know, in conflict with these heavy emotions he feels for her. So I'm really excited to see where they're going to wrap this up. We got one half of one season left of this show, and I'm excited to check it out finally. So let me know in the comments if you're still watching Star Wars Rebels and what do you want to see wrap up in the show. And I will talk to you guys soon here on the channel. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time.